Good morning, welcome to a morning review. This is Kim speaking on, Monday the 19th of December. So here we go, euro dollar first, and as you can see, Friday, well, we ended up with a bullish harami, so there's a potential from that picture that we could see further upside, and we're already seeing that at the moment, running back up towards the weekly pivot at this moment, which would be a target if we can carry on in this way. We air kiss the daily pivot, so there's always a risk that if we start breaking the trend line at the lows there, we could come back for that. Let me just check that for sure, but yep, it's just an air kiss on that daily pivot. So as I say, there's the potential for it to roll over at some point, come back towards that statistically at least. Certainly from where it is at the moment, it's probably easier because it's running up towards Friday's highs here. So it's just chips through them a little bit. So as I say, if it rolls over, well, daily pivot could be on. Otherwise, I'd still be looking in terms of in trend. What we've done marginally higher lows coming through here on Friday afternoon, and we've pushed at the moment. So we're pushing back up towards the weekly pivot. Now the daily pivots themselves are pretty pinched today, having been in a tight range most of Friday. So we may run up as high as the R2s today, possibly. Okay, pound dollar. Pound dollar also bullish harami, looking not quite as strong as the euro first thing this morning, but all the same, it's got its weekly pivot again above us, which certainly could be a draw as we run through the early part of the week. Now again, we've not touched the daily pivot, so any excess this morning may be seen as potential for it to, if it starts breaking down, we could end up back down towards that daily pivot and beyond. Obvious areas, if it was to drop below the daily pivot, obviously it's back down towards the R1 and Friday's afternoon lows there. But break of the morning, this morning, this upper trend line here could see us moving back into territory towards, as I say, the weekly pivot R1 and maybe beyond. Okay, dollar yen, pulled back, caught this week's weekly pivot already. It's breaking through its 4 hourly 8. It's done that pretty well, and hanging in there on the 21 at the moment. It really depends how it settles out this morning. I've been looking at the potential of a bit more of a retrace on the dollar yen. I mean, it's been going up pretty strongly, and it may be due at some point a bigger retrace. It was overbought for a long time. The short-term period now, or the shorter time frames, the 4 hourlies downwards, may be suggesting there's at least a short-term downward trend in there with the lower highs, lower lows. It's already caught the weekly pivot. Any rallies through that hourly 8 even may give a move back up to the daily pivot, which hasn't been hit. So weekly pivot already been hit, and the daily S2 there already been hit. But as I say, if it starts breaking through, we may get sort of a move back towards that the daily pivot, 50 MA, etc. It's a little bit stretched away from those areas, and this has the potential, but it may be setting up, and with these, as I say, lower highs, lower lows, for some continued selling off. Aussie dollar, well, Friday it never managed to do too much. It just continued in the sell-off mode, and well, this morning it's a little bit more, say bullish, but positive, and it's got quite a move back to its weekly pivot at the moment, relatively, although it's only part of Friday's move, I guess. But got hit the worst on Friday. There is a potential. It's already hit the daily pivot. If it gets back above the daily pivot, maybe then we'd be looking for the sort of 50, maybe 34.50, and weekly pivot as we run through either today, tomorrow. We'll see how it runs, but there is the potential for a retracement there. It did put a higher low in through the Asian session, through Sunday and into this morning. So there is that potential upside there on the Aussie dollar. And finally, Canadian dollar. Sorry, I'll just have a quick look at what oil's up to. It's back up to $52, so that'll help the Canadian dollar. It should do anyway. but it hasn't really. So not significantly. So there is that potential it may pull back a bit. It's got this weekly pivot below. It may strengthen back up again, but we saw it at last week give up quite a lot and continue up. I mean, it's obviously stronger US dollar coming through there, but well, at the moment it's really looking more bullish than bearish, although it's got its weekly pivot below us. And momentum slowing up a little bit here. It's not necessarily may have just about confirmed a lower high in there, so there is the potential it hasn't quite, or it may have just caught daily pivot actually. So maybe if it rolls through the lows of what we're seeing at the moment, there's the potential for further downside towards that weekly pivot there. So that's just about it. So overall, the dollar's softening a little bit at the moment, but as we often see, it starts off pretty well, and then all of a sudden we see a bit of a rollover. We have seen some movements already this morning. There's no actual news out, which apart from the German and the European business climates will come out later on at 9 o'clock, but they're not big movers. So I'm not expecting, with a lot of fund managers, etc., going away now, not interested in doing too much, a great deal from these markets over the next few days leading into Christmas. Generally, the volatility falls. You can get a few moves which creates a bit of a spark, but they can be shorter lived rather than becoming trending. So just need to be careful of those moves. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.